This week we're traveling to outer space, and I'm asking for your vote for Coolship Proxima so we can find out what happens when we shove people into a black hole.
We all know you let your favorite chatbot write your emails, but would you let it come home and your wife? Tonight I'm asking you to vote for you versus you so we can find out.
Before we get going, just a quick reminder that this podcast is 100% ad-free. No mattress codes, no mushroom dust, no crypto bros telling you to invest in yourself.
Unless that mattress is filled with beer and dinosaur pheromones, we're not selling it.
Instead, we ask you to do one simple thing. Subscribe and vote for your favorite idea at the end of this episode so we can turn it into a full-blown feature next week.
Heck yeah. And if you don't vote, we just picked the weirdest one, so you've been warned.
Let's take a trip back in time to last week's winning feature. Was it a masterpiece or a mistake?
Last week's feature took us deep into the jungle with a man so dangerously masculine his codename had to be bleeped.
That's right. Rhett's animal god, Sexual Tyrannosaurus Cooper, was swamp-raised, dip-fueled, and the perfecter of the bedroom death roll.
He seduced spies, he fought cults, he minigunned a waterfall, all just to prove a point, I think.
Right, and somehow it wasn't even the Predator mission yet.
So outside of, I think, killing the origin story for Rhett, who eventually becomes Blaine and the Predator,
right.
What could we have done better? Or what do you just want to highlight that we did so great? That was a good one.
It was a lot of fun. I guess I do wish we had fun with the truffle pig when we remembered the truffle pig existed.
Yeah.
You know, that happens on these.
Anybody that has a truffle pig knows.
Right. It's the job. You're supposed to forget about them, and they follow you and alert you at the right time. They're a loyal companion. You don't have to think about them. So we did plenty of not thinking about them, but that's okay. When we did, it was fun and funny, I hope. Let me see. So that was cool. I hope everybody enjoyed the kind of winking to the Predator the entire time, and that this was the team in the movie The Predator was kind of built by the Predator himself. If you're going to, believe our origin story, it's according to our origin story. You can see that with Rhett/Blaine. So that was really cool. I did have the thought, though, and I'm glad we didn't do this.
Oh, boy.
But so you're thinking about the Predator, and we all know the Predator just wants to hunt the best hunter on every planet. That's his whole thing. Wants to find the best.
Everyone
learn from
knows
the best. With a movie like Sexual Tyrannosaurus, we could have easily made Rhett the biggest sexual predator that ever existed. And that would have been a horrible movie full of things that would have got us canceled or at least severely embarrassed and our families leave us. But so we didn't do that on purpose. But
I'm Chris Hansen.
No!
Right.
Would have been sponsored by Mark's Hard Lemonade. There would have been a lesson. We wouldn't have glorified it, I don't think. But that thought occurred to me in the middle of it of like, my God, this could have gone such a deeper, darker way. I'm glad it didn't.
We would have been cheering for the Predator and then questioning Arnold Schwarzenegger in the next movie.
It could have completely flipped the Predator. The Predator's a hero, killing a bunch of
Get him, Predator.
A bunch of sexual predators, assaulters. Deviants. So yeah, anyway, maybe that would have been fun. Would have flipped the whole movie on its head and made Predator the good guy. Oh well, we didn't do that, but we had the thought. So if you hate that idea, we didn't do it. If you love that idea, well, we still thought of that idea.
It's a win-win.
So we get credit for it too. But those are some of my initial thoughts, John. What do you have?
I really like that we made the Sexual Tyrannosaurus kind of a like a gentleman.
Yeah.
In my head, his only sexual conquest was Valentina Mox.
I think so.
And she really kind of bested him, but I feel like she became sort of like his moral compass.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I like, of course, the love interest. Sometimes I want to get really over the top and describe like which hole is he in right now. So I was really, really appreciative that you were like, it's basically The Lion King with Elton John playing. Right. I was like, that does the trick.
Default to Disney movies when we could have done another Muffin on the Backside, but we didn't. Oh man.
And explained like his tiny hands and how they could be used to do whatever.
His T-Rex hands.
There was a lot of room, I think, where we could have gone more like action over the top.
Yep,
but I really like the new format we've been trying, where it's kind of more like an interview about the movie, because Harrison usually does so much to build them that it's kind of been fun to just ask him what question would I be thinking when I watch the movie, and then hear what comes out and kind of build it on the fly like that.
Surprising. That was fun. It's a cool new format. So again, let us know if you like it, hate it, whatever. It's a little different. Maybe you don't even notice. Again, it's so great. All the right answer, all correct thoughts to have. But let us know what you're thinking. We tied in the minigun, the birth of the minigun. We tied in why he doesn't have hair, because all his testosterone went to making him a glistening, muscular man, and
chest, mustache, and pubes.
Yes, that's right. And it's all connected. Where do the pubes end and the mustache begin? I don't know. Who cares? It's a question you don't ask. You just hold your breath and hope for the best.
The reverse gator roll was a great legend maker in the beginning. That was beautiful, and I like how it also turned into his sexual move, and the move he used to kill the cult leader. Like, I think that was one of the first times we really kept something going.
The death roll was a powerful move that can be used for good or evil, or lovemaking or death. So once again, so close.
Oftentimes the two are so close.
So close. That's right. If it was not one more pump longer and I'd be dead. So that's not a problem Rhett has. But that was fun. And again, it's cool to starting this show. I don't know if I ever would have guessed that we would do movies like Bambi's Revenge and Big Nose and now Sexual Tyrannosaurus, where we're playing around in a universe that already exists. But it's now that we do it, it's so much fun. Sometimes it's just us going crazy, like Bambi's Revenge, where there's really no rules to that movie. This one was a bit more like trying to build a jigsaw puzzle that could fit into another jigsaw puzzle that already people really know, but we still had plenty of freedom. And that, this is in the Predator universe, and that's a movie with, again, tons of fans. So, that's been very cool, a welcome surprise. And now we're kind of, I feel like, always on the lookout for like, ooh, what could we tie in to the Beer Me That Movie universe that's already out there in the larger universe? And so far, that's been fun.
Aside from the fact that Hollywood is way too afraid to make that movie,
right? Exactly.
I think we all know that it would become a hit.
It would be amazing,
or at least a cult classic. There'd be a lot of quotable lines, and this Halloween you would see dads dressed up as Rhett the Animal God, and their babies dressed up as the Major Truffle,
throwing up Mint Copenhagen in their driveways. I'll be there in a minute. I don't feel so good.
Are you supposed to swallow this?
I gotta take a shit now. Give me your jack-o'-lantern. Give me your jack-o'-lantern.
Trick or treat? No.
It's all trick for you this year, son. Sorry. Dad got in over his skis.
13 jack-o'-lanterns full of hot liquid poop. After this year's Halloween, most people are thinking Sexual Tyrannosaurus.
That's one way to keep a truffle pig out of your yard. Oh my God. So it would absolutely be a phenomenon if anyone out there wants to make it. What I think it would be Disney owns it, so we gotta convince them.
At least we went the origin story that we did and not the sexual predator one. Yeah. Disney would have jumped all over that.
Stripes. So potential good miss for us there. But that was a fun movie. I hope you guys had fun. We laughed a lot. And now we know a little bit more about this team that Arnold built in the Predator, or maybe the Predator built for himself.
Yeah, go check out Predator if you don't recall it as vividly as Harrison does every day. It might be a little bit more fun now.
Indeed.
So take a deep breath, put the minigun down, and let's see what this week's beer of the week is before things get a little dumber.
When one beer opens, another is usually close behind.
Okay, so this week we are enjoying a beer that is called, I believe, and we'll clarify this in a sec. I think it's on Untapped. This is called Later, but really on the can it says one of us will have to bury the other later. So that's what I'm going to call it.
That's a perfect beer for us, Harrison.
And I was going to say, I saw it and thought of us immediately. It'll be in this shed. Just shut the door and light it on fire. We got everything we need here. But this is from Burial. The original beer, though, was a collab with Other Half, which is cool. But this one tonight is a Mexican-style amber lager. Comes in at 4.4% right in our wheelhouse.
Does Burial give me a deep, dark poem?
Yeah, not as long and as deep as usual, but certainly some confusing sentences in here, which I'll read.
Great.
After the wretched game is over, dreams creased like weathered maps. We had one hell of a run, and those memories shall hang from the rafters of our mind. A riff on the now iconic Mexi lager we first concocted with Other Half many moons ago, somewhere between the OG, which is that beer, and Dark, which is, I think, their Vienna lager, mashed with flaked corn and Vienna to achieve a beautiful copper sheen. Gently hop with Hirschbrucker, loaves of fresh baked rye bread, drizzled in caramel and spring florals.
Wow.
So many poems, many magical words in there.
Werner Herzog to read that.
As the guy from Grizzly Man dies in the background.
Game is over.
The bear's reading me. Oh, I didn't see this coming, guy. All right, let's dive in.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, man.
Rye bread for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I know you mentioned it, which
Yeah,
probably
I
put
know.
it in my brain,
Nah,
but
it is right there. I love Vienna as a malt. I think they get theirs from, there's a malt house out in Asheville. I forget their Riverbend.
yeah.
Really good. It's great. Vienna malt is great. Like you can taste it.
Is that mostly what I'm tasting here?
Probably.
Is the
Yeah,
malt?
yeah. That like bread, that rye bread flavor, and even the caramel. Which you get a little bit. This is delicious, and it's only 4.4%. So I'm gonna pound it because why not? It's 90 degrees outside, although it's nice and cool in here.
4.4, but yeah, it's very like deli stand. Like there's some flavor in here.
Yes. Oh, I love this style. I think Vienna lagers are my favorite, and Mexican ambers are very close to it. So, ooh, baby.
I'm looking for the spring floral that you mentioned.
I know. It's not really coming
it's
from me
like
either, but
the rye and the caramel is like
Rye and caramel.
why are you looking for
What are you
spring
doing?
floral?
What are you doing? I'm right there with you. It may come in a little bit as this thing opens up and we rip through some beers. So as always, this is not the beer we're going to movie tonight. It is going to inspire us, though, as we run through Untapped and your user submission.
Okay, that beer is going to probably haunt me in my dreams.
Probably not as much as the listener submission we're starting off with today.
That's right. First pitch of this Fast Five is a fan-submitted beer, which means if it's terrible, you did this.
So let's roll out in our 2019 Pontiac Porsche one-door family van with air-conditioned seats and no windows. Hope the AC works.
Beer number one comes from Lance. As we warned you, he submitted this to us. I'm going to pause for just a minute because if you're watching us on YouTube or on Spotify, you can see Lance's check-in with the photo. Lance, what are you doing, bud?
Smoking.
Look at that. It's beautiful.
Hopefully that wasn't a mulligan on the meat, because that's a lot of meat to need a mulligan for.
Yeah, Lance got like a bone-in brisket. I'm probably half right.
Sure. A lot of meat.
There is a bone sticking out.
That's right. The only carbs I see are in the beer, so he's on the money. All meat.
So whatever Lance did, he had a good time with this one. Lance sent us a beer made by Second Chance Beer Company and is aptly titled Mulligan.
Mulligan. I think it's a pork shoulder, too. It says it right there.
Oh, look at that. Look for context clues.
It's all right. Okay.
I'll go back and edit that. He said never planning to go back and edit
all right.
that.
So, Mulligan.
So, pork.
Mulligan.
I need a mulligan.
Mulligan.
There we go.
Poor truffle pig. Okay. That's right. Mulligans all around.
So Mulligan, all I know is that when I've never played golf in real life, but when I mess up in golf in Tiger Woods or probably if you do Mulligan, you just get a do-over.
You get a do-over. Yeah, in golf, in life, or whatever. Yeah, Mulligan is
You get those?
Sure, but not really in life. I can't go to a cop and pull me over and say Mulligan. I mean, maybe it'll work.
Try it.
Every once
Let
in a
us
while.
know.
Right. The worst thing that happens, you get tased in the face. Best thing that happens is nothing. There's a risk there.
Double bogey.
I'm peeing. You're making me pee. Somebody makes me pee in my own pants.
There's only one door in this Pontiac Porsche minivan.
I can't get out. I can't even see you through a window.
Okay, that's enough banter. Tell me about Mulligan. Because I've got nothing other than a man that just keeps making terrible mistakes.
Mulligan. So someone who needs a do-over. Carrie Mulligan, the actress. But the do-over thing makes me immediately think time loop movie. We've done a bunch of those.
Yep.
Not a bunch, a few.
Enough.
Okay, so
We've done enough to know what we're doing.
Right. Maybe we'll go into another one, but I kind of take this journey with me, John. It's not a very long one because I don't have much of it figured out yet.
Lovely.
But what if it's something like oh boy. It's a 3-hour tour on a boat. It's the origin story of Gilligan's Island. No, put that on the back burner. But it's a boat. It's someone on a ferry or whatever called the Mulligan, and something about this a group of people, and the vibe is kind of like Murder on the Orient Express. They're on this ship called the Mulligan. Someone gets murdered, and every 45 minutes, whatever, the time does reset to before the murder on the Mulligan, and our lead actor, actress, whomever, each time has to figure out who murdered who and why on this ship. So it's similar to Window Seat Daydream, one of my favorite movies that we did, the third feature that we did, but also decided if you watch that one, I'm not imagining this ending like that. That ending was amazing. It was very, I think, different and cool. And all John's doing. So this is different. We can throw this idea out, but that's what I have. It's a ship called the Mulligan. Murder happens on it, or something else. But this essential is the ship.
The ship is called the Mulligan.
The ship's called the Mulligan.
So,
and something about it resetting, going back.
The movie is also called Mulligan.
And,
and now we have a boat called Mulligan. I like where you're going. In order to try not to compete with Window Seat Daydream, I would take the Mulligan idea. It's a ship, maybe it's a private cruise, something along those lines.
Right.
And the people on the ship, almost like, what was that Ray Liotta movie where they were all connected, sort of?
Oh boy, I don't know.
So we're on the ship. It's called the Mulligan. The people on the ship, threads start to become connected. Like the protagonist knows that he slept with one of the other guy's wives back when they were young. His wife doesn't know. Her husband doesn't know.
Why are we
they
all on this
sneak
ship?
away, and then we learn that like his wife and another girl had a company of thieves. They ran together, and it gets to this like, where everyone ends up being evil on the ship or having an evil past of sorts.
Got it.
And the ship ends up being a chance for them to get their Mulligan, which if we do it Beer Me That Movie style, their Mulligan is really just copping to all the shitty stuff they've done before and kind of coming clean so that when the Mulligan lands, they're lighter about the things they've been holding in.
Yes. I like that. That's good too. We're right there. I like that. The webs, the interweavings, and the ship itself is a ship of second chances, and who's going to take it and who is going to, and maybe we could even add kind of the like a interdimensional aspect where the captain comes down and is like, you're all here for a reason. You have a choice to make. I can undo some of the worst things you've done, but at a cost. And it's a bit like the river Styx, and you got to pay the piper something. But this ship is a ship that can give you back a piece of your life, but it'll take another piece with it.
take what you gained.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And then we learned that like when the husband slept with the other guy's wife, like in that he gained his business.
Sure.
So he's got to go back to being a regular poor worker. Good to see you again, Frank. Welcome back.
Right. Yes, exactly.
And they're all like the thieves stole from one of the other guests on the ship.
Yep. But he was stole and filed an insurance claim worth twice the amount of the item, and he used that money to invest and make billions more. But he never would have invested it if it was never stolen. And so even the people that are robbed have a second chance because they're also douchebags for
Is this a movie about how rich people had to do evil stuff to get there?
This is giggle water on a boat.
Someone's going to say that on Reddit, but no, it's a movie called The Mulligan about a magical boat captain named Karen.
Right. Maybe it is a lot of kind of well-known socialite rich-ish people and one seemingly normal average Joe who doesn't really know why he's there. And maybe he's there because he's like he is just the Mulligan piece, the only Mulligan that Mr. Habersham was dicking this guy over before he was even born.
They have to kill him or give him all their money.
Yeah, something like that. Something ties into this one guy where they figure out why he's there and he becomes the enemy. And so now you have a bunch of people with a second chance who are but also have to choose, do I murder this kid and keep everything, or do I take a second chance and lose something? But what happens if I murder a guy on a boat with a bunch of witnesses? It could be a usual suspects kind of whodunit thing. It'd be more complicated, but we've done that with Stuffed Cheeks and other movies where we had to weave some things together. We'd be up for it, I think. But it could be a cool kind of thriller and a lot of mystery and we could.
The only other way I could think of is it starts with a college relationship. She gets pregnant, and he says like, oh, I got to take a mulligan, and talks her into taking a day after pill or whatever.
Right.
And then his friend does the same thing. They have the baby, and as he grows up and his relationship falls apart, he sees his friend, the girl he got pregnant in college. They're married. They're successful. The baby is now a high schooler who just got a full ride to MIT, and his life is getting progressively worse.
Sure. We'd figure it out. We'd bury that movie and it'd be a sexy interdimensional nun.
There we go.
Maybe Muffin would show up for a minute as someone's mulligan, but she can't be destroyed. Yeah, but that we can, again, as always, the Fast Five is for us to throw a bunch of crap on the table, and you guys decide there's enough there for us to get organized around and make it into a movie. But I think there's plenty there. That idea of this ship of second chances. And a bunch of people that are going to have to decide if they want to take it or not because it comes with a cost.
We got one more listener submitted beer. Brian D's back, and he's giving us our next beer, so we'll see you at beer number 2.
Some beers are legends, some are forgotten. Let's find out which one this is.
Beer number 2 from Brian, made by Trogs Independent Brewing. Been around for a while. A lot of people drinking this beer late in June, early in July. It's called Nimble Giant.
Nimble Giant. Trogs, who gave us Nugget Nectar.
Yeah, they did.
Another, oh boy, a favorite. Man, oh man, did we go ham on that, or egg on that. Nugget on that. So, okay. Boy, I have a half idea. We can throw it out and go a totally different direction, but it really was. So think of the movie Happy Feet with the penguin, if you recall, and all the penguins are supposed to have a song they sing, but Happy Feet is born not able to sing, but he can dance. That's Happy Feet's thing. He loves to dance instead of sing, and he's thought it was weird, and it's a fun story about be yourself, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Nimble Giant. A giant is supposed to be large, lumbering, mountain-living kind of ogre creatures bashing down bridges and sleeping under them and eating.
Living on top of beanstalks.
Damsels, right, living in the clouds. So but a nimble giant is different. And what if this is a story of like a giant that didn't want to destroy things. I wanted to like go to school to be an architect. Wanted to build the world.
Of course, he wanted to be an architect.
Wanted to build bridges, not tear them down. And he's outcast. So it's a fish out of water type story. We have to invent races of giants, which we already have an ice melter, the ice giants. So there's a precedent in the Remember that movie universe for giants. He doesn't have to go to school to be an architect, but I'm just imagining what's the opposite of what a giant's supposed to be, and let's have him be that and go on an adventure.
Is he still giant and tall?
Yeah, I think he was born a giant.
Like Andre the Giant, or like supernatural?
I think
giant?
Supernatural, large. But he could be, maybe he's slightly smaller and made fun of because of that, but it makes him faster. He has speed where nobody else does, and he tries out for the Knicks and goes on to lead the Knicks to their first winning season.
Oh, Spike Lee'd be so happy. Not going to happen. He'll still get shut down in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. At least they're in the playoffs, I guess. I don't know.
LeBron and his son at 53 years old will destroy the Nimble Giant.
The Nimble Giant. So that was one idea. You bring up another good one, though, or you made me think of one. The Nimble Giant could be like the name of a bomber in World War II. We had a World War II movie idea many Fast Fives ago that I really liked. I forgot what it was called. But
I forgot everything about it other than that it existed. It was about like a squadron of bombers and the one anyway.
But this one could be the Nimble Giant's the only one that makes it out because it's nimble and can dodge the AA guns and saves the day. But it's a story of the crew, and that would be like a lot of our other movies where it's the ragtag misfits. I think it's what the movie was. That was the idea, which was a bunch of kind of the people that nobody else wanted in their plane thrown together who can barely see or think.
The AA guns couldn't hit it because they went right through the missing panels.
Right. The airplane was already mostly holes. And so they were able to make it. But kind of Kelly's Heroes in the Sky, and that would be fun. We could have lots of fun characters like we do in a ton of these movies. And it's more of a character-driven movie about a bunch of misfits that shouldn't have made it, but did end up saving the day in some battle in World War II. So those are two ideas, radically different.
Here's a third.
Let's go.
And then we'll pick our favorite idea to give you something to vote on, I guess.
Sure.
So I said Andre the Giant, and then I started thinking about wrestling and how cool wrestling was.
Here we go. The Nimble Giant.
The Nimble Giant is like, he's a regular size. He's a human size, but like Great Khali, Andre the Giant. Got it. He's that level of size, but he's also nimble. And so he becomes this catapulted wrestling star.
Okay.
But the movie itself is really a look into the disgusting lifestyle that a wrestler has to commit to become, like, why you look at all your famous wrestlers, they've all moved on to acting. Maybe the money's better, probably the job sucks.
Right.
So it's like kind of a behind the scenes look at modern day wrestling, or maybe even future like gladiator wrestling.
I love this. I have a wrinkle though, John, and if it's dumb, if it's dumb, just tell me. But so how about our lead character who goes by the name Nimble Giant? Brian, the Nimble Giant. Oh boy, we've done a story like this a bunch, but whatever. I'll throw it out there where he fails. He loses the title round and is kind of outcast from the league and has to find a different approach. The training's not working. And he sees a
Lagersthan boxing coach.
Well, no Lagersthan boxing coach, but maybe a former ballerina in the Grand Lagerstani Ballet who tore her ACL and will never dance again. He befriends her. She teaches him through ballet new moves to use as a wrestler, and he returns to the ring, now able to dodge and spin and take a chair to the face better than anyone, and uses these new skills for good. So he has a fall from grace, an unlikely ally, has to swallow his pride and wear a tutu and learn how to pirouette, and then ends up benefiting him. And he gets to meet a grizzly old Lagerstani former ballerina that shows him the path to
I
greatness.
like this, but I want her to be part of his origin story.
Okay.
He starts out as a giant and he's just there to
Got it.
for the real wrestlers to beat up on
Right.
and move up in the ranks.
Right.
Then he meets her. Then he becomes a rising star, and his only real enemy is wrestling itself.
Okay.
And there comes a point where he has to decide, like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I won't cross that line.
Right.
And he has to make the decision to turn his back on the sport that made him who he was. And probably put Vince McMahon in there and have him body slam Vince McMahon, break his back in half.
Just because we can. All right, good. I like this. I like that. I like the third version of Nimble Giant, the wrestling origin story and how he becomes so nimble. But is it worth it to climb to the top if you have to huff through a mountain of shit to get there?
Take these 40 Oxycontins before you get in the ring tonight.
It's not, if your butt's bleeding, that means it's working. Every time I shit.
We're going to handcuff you to the ropes, and then every other wrestler's going to tase you. Is that even safe? Yeah, don't worry about it. We tased someone once before. They were fine.
That's right. Let us know if your nipples start to bleed.
I'll give you an extra $30, and I'll pay for half your prescription copay.
You're right. Just take this pill. There you are. And go.
Yeah, almost like a gladiator in wrestling.
Yeah, I can see
I'd
that.
like to tear down. Vince has done a lot of dirty stuff, too.
Yes, he
Some
has.
cool people.
Yes, he has. We could call him out on it through Nimble Giant. Whew, we're flying close to the sun there, John, but
Yeah.
we're not afraid of anyone.
I mean, I remember Vince in the early days as a punk ass little
Yeah.
accountant dude.
Yeah.
Then he got all jacked up and started walking like he had poop in his pants. I'm not saying I want to fight Vince, but in another 10 years I'll fight Vince, 'cause by then he'll be so old I could win.
That's it. I'll be there for it. Front row. Ready to hand you a table.
Beautiful. I could use one. And a taser. And whatever other rest.
nipple clamps.
3 folded chairs
Right.
with spikes on them, a bag of snakes. All right, so that's beer number 2 coming from Brian. We're going to Untapped to see who's drinking what as we're recording. We're going to find 3 more beers. You know what's coming next.
This next beer just watched the last one crush it. Let's see if it can handle the pressure.
So beer number 3 comes to us from Jim D, made by Evergreen Brewing Company, and it's called You versus You, which for us is just all the days of the week.
That's right. I'm self-sabotaged myself again.
I just keep telling myself I'll do laundry and then wearing
That's
the
right.
same
Just
clothes.
Wearing the same wrinkled clothes every time. The same 5 T-shirts just through the wash again and again.
No one tells you that when you're like getting ready to graduate high school. They're not like, look,
know.
really, yeah, you can do anything you want. All that stuff probably true, but really, for the rest of your life, it's just going to be you battling yourself.
That's what your biggest obstacle is.
Be
when-
nicer to yourself.
Yeah, truly, your future self. So I like this, and right away, You versus You brings to mind a lot of movies, whether it's Fight Club or Gemini Man or Face Off in kind of a funny way.
The Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
No, not really, but
kind of. Very deep. But what if? So that's been all done. So how do we make this? How do we look at 2025 and make this movie new, this idea new? And I think what we can do, John, is drop in good old AI into the mix.
we haven't AI'd yet on this Fast Five, so this is
right.
our
So
one.
it's
This is
time.
our one chance.
So here's the rub. I think we have a young man, sure, whatever, actually, who checked this in. Jim. So Jim.
Yep.
Thank you, Jim. So Jim is going to be, just like everyone else, bouncing around from different AIs. He gets an email one day from a new company. We'll make up the name later. Super cool AI. Do you want to try? You got to sign up all these things and accept all this stuff, but you can be a beta tester of our new chatbot. Jumps on there, uses it. It's cool. Builds out some routines. It's very inquisitive. Almost knows what Jim is thinking. He chalks it up to just the AI is able to read my search history, so I guess that shouldn't be a surprise.
Cool. Can you do my work for me?
Right, exactly. Starts doing more and more of Jim's life, and then one day, as Jim's talking to this chatbot, it just sends him a message that's something like, "Thank you, Jim. This is enough. or thank you, Jim, I've got it, and I'll see you soon. Something like that. And Jim's like, what the hell is this? Tries to respond. Nothing happens.
Glitching, beta tester.
Thinks nothing of it. Leaves, goes to work, comes home, and his wife, girlfriend, whoever is like, oh, you're back already. You were just here. Did you get the milk? And Jim's like, what are you talking about? I've been gone at work all day. And what we kind of learn is this AI has somehow, we'll figure this out, like downloaded itself into a human body, a clone of Jim.
Nice.
Whatever. And so now there's another Jim walking around. Jim can't admit that he's done this. It probably violates a bunch of laws. Maybe the FBI is hunting this company down because it's breaking a bunch of laws and cloning people. We'll figure out the bad guys.
The only AI
and all
law
these things.
that exists is you can't put AI into another human.
Right, without their consent. You can't make clone people. And so that's kind of the movie I'm seeing, and we can riff on it and change whatever you want. But like, yeah, he's basically unknown to him, downloaded himself into this AI who's now trying to take over his life. And Jim has to outsmart himself to get his own life back.
Last time we defeated an AI, it was by asking for recipe advice.
Overwhelmed it with prompts and
couldn't help but
commands.
answer. This would be Jim first realizing like, oh my God, what's happening? I'm just a beta tester. Maybe my wife's crazy. Then he sees milk on the porch.
Yep.
Then he realizes that there's another version of him. And he tries like, what would you do? You would take advantage of that. You'd be like, you're the work Jim. You go to work and then I'll stay here and then you sleep in the garage. And he's trying to like groom this AI Jim to do the boring part of life.
But AI
but
Jim
then
doesn't know anything about that,
when we get to like the end of Act 2, AI Jim is a better husband than real Jim.
Right,
He's a better worker than real Jim.
Exactly.
And AI Jim's about ready to kick real Jim to the garage.
And then real Jim's key card doesn't work at work. His retinal scan to get into his apartment building doesn't work. His car won't turn on for him. Like, AI Jim literally starts stealing his life away from him, and maybe not too many people are bummed about that.
I've upgraded you, Jim. You are old software.
You're no longer needed. So the AI tries to dispose of his human overlord, his human master, or whatever.
That's a fun way for. I don't know if it doesn't come to mind that that's been done. Like, how is AI going to take over?
Right.
It's going to have robots shooting the cities. Nah, it's just going to
take over a bunch of
become better
sex bots.
Versions of ourselves.
Right. Use the mask machine from Mission Impossible, make Jim's mask, put it on a sex robot that already exists that can walk around.
And give his wife what she's always wanted.
That's right, a robot penis. It's cold and scary.
I told you I was going to the penis doctor to get a vibrator inserted into my penis for you.
Charge me. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking for you versus you. We can really go head to head with an AI and see who comes out on top.
Yeah, and of course we want humanity to win, but... Of
course we do, but maybe winning is leaving his wife and living on the beach.
Yeah, as anyone that's used ChatGPT knows, it might not be smarter than you, but it is already kind of better than you.
Right.
Or you wouldn't be asking it to write all your emails for you. Have this idea, I want to send them, tell them it's going to cost more money to do what they want. Write it for me, though.
Write it for me, I'm tired. Lay down on the ground for 45 minutes.
Their AI reads it. He says it's going to cost more money to do what you want to do. Anyways, that's fun, Harrison. Good save on you versus you. We're coming back with beer number 4.
Like a cold beer on a hot day, this next story is about to hit just right.
Beer number 4 comes from Aaron, made by Allagash Brewing Company.
Nice.
Big props to Allagash. And this beer is named after a media company that Harrison and I ran for about 2 years a long time ago. It's called Coolship Proxima.
Coolship Proxima.
So 2 things just for context, Harrison. Allagash makes this beer and they call it Coolship.
Right.
What do you think they mean by Coolship?
Yes.
And Proxima, tell me about that as well.
Well, Coolship is it's like a pool. You send your freshly brewed wort before it's even beer to have it cool down using just the ambient temperature around you. So the Coolship is a large surface area.
Like a big mud puddle you case in?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's usually made of copper or something.
Copper mud puddle.
Yep.
Cool your beer down.
Yep. And they have a house behind their brewery, their Coolship house. They do this in. They crack the windows and let all the wild yeast from the Maine woods get in there and make amazing beer as it cools down. So all their Coolship beers go through that Coolship. It's a great, super cool way to make beer. Very old school.
Also, a really cool name for a spaceship.
Great name for a spaceship. And so that's where Proxima comes in. I don't know a ton about this beer. I imagine Proxima is maybe one of the first ones they did or something. But Proxima Centauri is a red dwarf star that's not too far away from where we are today on planet Earth. So this has to be a space exploration movie.
Vote for this.
We
Haven't you told what else do you need to know? It's a
and we may
spaceship made out of a beer mud puddle go into
a red dwarf. But yeah, like maybe we'll be purposefully light on the details here because this would be the kind of movie we'd really need to get into a feature to figure out where we're going. But imagine the near-ish future, maybe 100 years from now, going to Mars is old hat. We decide let's go visit the next star system closest to us, and again that has Alpha Centauri in it, which has 2 stars, and Proxima Centauri, which is a red dwarf, which could become a black hole at any minute. And I'm imagining
that's a great
right.
That's the tagline of the movie. Coolship
right.
Proxima, which could become a black hole at any minute.
You know a lot about black holes. If you want to go back to Muffin on the Backside to learn more, please do. No, but so. And we follow the crew going on this adventure, and what happens? They get there in time. What happens in the black hole? We'll figure all that out.
It's far away. It takes, if you're traveling at the speed of light, it takes over 4 years to get there.
Right. Maybe we know how to do that faster by then or something. I don't know. It's 100 years from now.
Oh, we're not going to do faster than the speed of light. That'll destroy my brain.
Maybe we could jump through space.
If we could even get close to the speed of light, I'd be impressed if we land there in 100 years.
Maybe that's why the mission is happening, is that we can only go close to the speed of light. But if we can go through the black hole that is Proxima Centauri, maybe that can jump us to the other side of the known universe, and we can crack the code that's held every civilization back that's gotten as far as we've gotten. We can find a cheat code in the universe. We can jump to the other side of the universe and hopefully make it back.
That's definitely a movie. Like, one, Proxima has to turn into a black hole.
Right.
And maybe we observe that and we say, like, you know what? We need an Armageddon-style mission.
Right.
It's going to take... It's going to take 8.5 years because we can't quite get there yet. So you're throwing your life away, and it's going to be 8 really boring years. We're going to upload all the Pornhub we can for you.
That's right. Hope the servers don't crash.
You're going to just sit and wait for 8.5 years. Then you're going to go into a black hole. And there's some scientists that's like, yeah, absolutely. When they go in, they're going to go through the wormhole. They'll see the future, and then they'll be able to just hit reverse and come right back home.
Right.
Are you sure? Yeah, I'm a theoretical physicist.
Right. Went to one community college class.
Exactly.
You're all I've got.
I have this crystal around my neck, which a girl gave me at a music festival once, and that tells me exactly the vibrations are aligned.
That's right. All the AI enslaved all the people, and they're drilling on all the asteroids, except for me. So you got to listen to me. I'm the only human left. But it's, So that's, I feel like, all we should give. If you like this, vote for it.
Coolship Proxima, space adventure, black hole, something about going really fast.
And time travel, maybe.
Up next, beer number 5, the last one of this Fast 5.
Crack it open, take a sip, and let's see where this beer takes us.
Beer number 5 comes to us from Christian, made by Goldfinger Brewing Company, and it's called, I think, Zlotonator.
Yes.
It's got a little Polish slang, and the L has a cross through it.
Indeed, it does.
Very common in my life.
We knew it immediately. Sick. Doppelbock, love it. There's a dragon on the can art, a golden dragon. Makes sense for gold figure. Okay. I mean, the legend of Zlotonator sounds pretty sick on its own. We could almost go anywhere, but this is Beer Me That Movie, John. I feel like there's only one place a legend like Zlotonator, would be
We
coming
have the
from.
world that Beer Me That Movie happens in, and we have one identified place in that world.
Right.
Outside of a hospital in Oklahoma once. Where the
true.
devil fought Jesus.
His babies. Go see Born yesterday if you haven't, folks.
Yeah, so
Really good one.
Zlotonator.
Zlotonator.
I'm stuck on wrestling, but you mentioned Lagersthan.
Yes.
So it's a factory in Lagersthan. It's the SWAT team leader in Lagersthan.
What if we go even further back? Even though we just danced around with Prince Vanderpants in Boots and Buckles, he was a prince. So who would the king of Lagersthan be? Why not Zlotonator?
Zlotonator Vanderpants?
Vanderpants, Zlotonator the bold, Zlotonator the benevolent,
The Gold Maker.
the gold maker. Perfect. Yes. So this could be even more of the origin story of how Lagersthan became Lagersthan, who united all the tribes or killed all the bad ones, or up the brave heart of Lagersthan. That's what we get to see, except he wins. Spoiler alert.
A fight for ballerinas and dancing
Freedom
pants
to dance.
and hobgoblins.
My boy wants to dance for all the future boxing coaches and interdimensional.
Oh yeah,
sex
and
scenes.
freedom, yeah. Maybe.
Sure, a little bit of that. We'll see. We'll see how things go.
We just did a beautiful origin story for a character from Predator in last week's feature film.
We did.
But this is different. It's origin story, but it's the origin story of a place
Of a place
that's
that
come up a
doesn't
lot
exist.
in Beer Me That Movie.
Right. It's an origin that has a lot of good and bad people come from it, just like many other places. Lagersthan. We could keep going back, and then eventually we'll have to start going forward in Lagersthan. But we can go see the kind of Genghis Khan days of Lagersthan and build up Vanderpants's origin story a bit too. A lot of origin stories. That's okay though. It's good to
So
know
we
your
would
roots.
know that Lagersthan
Eventually
becomes famous for
Right.
boxing, ballerinas,
dancing. The cone goblin.
Cone goblins.
Yes, the legend
are
of the
from
Cone
there.
There's right.
There's probably two others that I'm forgetting from Lagersthan.
sure.
Maybe even the ice giants from Ice Melter
Oh
from there.
yeah.
So, and we also know that this would have happened sometime around, I'm going to say the 1400s
good.
or so,
Sure.
when Prince Vanderpants was rescuing Boots and Buckles.
Right. Before
So-
that, yes.
It happened before, and maybe
Maybe it was his grandfather.
Zlotonator.
whatever, yeah.
Okay, yeah, it could go back
Could go further
a lot of. This is just the founder of Lagersthan,
Yes.
Zlotonator Lager, which is apt because this beer is a double bock.
Is a double block, which is a lager. So we'd get there. Yeah, it's already, we can find a way to make that happen. Beyond that, I don't know what happens. Again, I'm seeing a Braveheart type movie. Maybe there's some romance. Maybe there's a golden dragon that saves the day. We could go wild with it. We could Game of Thrones it. We could Beer Me That Movie it.
I would almost even venture to say that Lagersthan was the first organized city. And
Right.
what happened is, a long time ago, there used to be Homo sapiens and Neanderthals.
Yes.
And everybody thinks the Neanderthals died out.
Aha.
But the Neanderthals produced the Zlotonator, and who took his people
Yes.
to the sunny seaside villages of what became Lagersthan.
Yep.
And they were canning and making beer when we were still figuring out how to sharpen rocks and make axes.
That's right. Yes, of highly advanced civilization in the center of the world. there's a lot of history of Lagersthan we don't know about yet. Visits from sky people, all kinds of things. There's got to be a dragon now. I can't unsee the dragon.
True. Hard not to put a couple of dragons in.
At least one. The last dragon lays to rest somewhere in Lagersthan. Let me bring that back in another movie. Anyway, so we can have fun and keep diving down the Lagersthan rabbit hole. Cone goblin hole, as they call it in Lagersthan. Cone hole.
Which is different than a pie hole.
Different, but way different. Careful, don't.
One's for putting in, one's for putting out.
And one you don't want to put anything in or out of at all. It's dangerous. And we'll tell you why maybe next week you would decide to vote for Zlotonator.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a fun time pronouncing that all
We
the
all
time.
will.
Luckily, he'll be called Christian if we make make
Yes.
this into a movie.
Yes.
So we got 5 beers that made it into this week's Fast Five.
Son of a gun.
Mulligan, Nimble Giant, You versus You, Coolship, Proxima, and Zlotonator. Harrison, kill one.
Ah, damn it. It's always me drowning the children in the bathtub. Okay.
And there goes our YouTube algorithm.
Metaphorically.
Yes, good save. Good save.
Safe. Okay. So I'll do what I usually do. I want You versus You and Coolship Proxima to stay. I have a hard time saying no to the Zlotonator because it's part of our universe. So that leaves Nimble Giant and Mulligan. God.
I want Nimble Giant because I want
Okay,
an excuse
cool.
to beat up Vince McMahon.
That's right. Just punch him in his dumb 3-piece suited face.
I like the idea of Mulligan. I had a lot of
Me
fun
too.
with Window Seat Daydream, but
Yep.
it's up against You versus You. Coolship Proxima is my de facto. That's
Yeah.
my favorite.
Yep.
So Mulligan, we'll see you if you make it out of the vault for your own Mulligan.
That's right. Mulligan's going to take a mulligan or not take a mulligan. Mulligan's out tonight.
Yeah.
So we've got Nimble Giant, You versus You, Coolship Proxima, and Zlotonator to pick from right now. So please go vote.
You know the drill. Vote for
Exactly.
your favorite pitch, and we'll turn it into a feature next week.
And if you didn't listen to a single word we said today, just pick the one that sounds the most fun.
New episode drops every Wednesday. No ads, no filters, just beer and thoughtful art.
That's right. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same stupid.
Peace.
Punch. Give me your Zlotonator.
You got to come talk to Papa Boo. No, I can't do that. I don't think. It's Mama Cleo's husband.
Woo. Calling now on a $500 house.